We don't.
19 fences to jump, short run to the first. Open race, Broadheath on the left of the picture, up with the pace early on, comes to the first with Mr. Frisk, and they're all safely over the first. Lucky Rascal, a slight mistake. Mr. Frisk, I must say, I've seen him move to post a little bit better than he did today, and is being headed by Broadheath, who takes it clear of Mr. Frisk in second. At the rear of the field, Darkwood John didn't get very high, and that's just the back marker. So it's Broadheath who's clear of Mr. Frisk in second place. Gives you an indication as to how far clear Broadheath is of Mr. Frisk in second, with on the twist third, Lannerai four. Zarovich is 5, then behind these comes Against the Grain, followed by Rhyme and Reason, and behind that one is Churchwarden, and on the outside of these is Lucky Rascal and Darkwood John and Burham 4, and Torside is towards the rear as well. That's the chasing group. The lead is a long way clear as he comes down towards the third, plain fence, Broadheath over safely. Mr. Frisk in second, and then Lannerai is third, jumping a bit better at the rear of the field. The back markers were there. Broadheath clear as he comes to the first ditch. Comes to it, takes it safely from Mr. Frisk in the yellow sleeves, and Lannerai jumping well and on the twist of the green and white. Zarovich in the black on the left of the picture as they head down towards the fifth. And Broadheath is clear, coming to it, measures it well, clear of Lannerai, who's come on to take on the twist. Mr. Frisk is back in 4. A gap to Burham 4 and Lucky Rascal, and Against the Grain and Zarovich as the leader takes the next. No change up front. Lannerai in second. On the twist, the novice there just out jumped by Mr. Frisk. And they begin the turn out of the back straight, having jumped 6. And it's Broadheath who's clear. 15 clear of Lannerai, half back to Mr. Frisk, 1.5 to on the twist, a gap of 4 to Lucky Rascal, who races with Burham 4. And then a gap to Zarovich, who races with Torside. Rhyme and Reason is a bit outpaced, and Churchwarden, who normally comes a long way from behind, and they level up to the 7th and go down into it. And it's Broadheath who's clear, comes to it, jumps it well. Chasing group come to it. Lannerai and Mr. Frisk and Burham 4, and on the twist and Zarovich, and at the rear of the field, Churchwarden is a faller. Broadheath is over the next, clear. Horse and jockey are on their feet. Lannerai is second, Mr. Frisk third. Behind these comes on the twist and Burham 4 and Lucky Rascal, the Zarovich, and behind these Torside. As the leader comes to the 9th, a long way clear, it's Broadheath. Comes to it, jumps it safely. From Mr. Frisk in second, and Lannerai on the twist and Burham 4 went through the top of it, and the others close up behind. And so the order as they race past the post, head towards the 10th, the water jump for the first and only time. Broadheath, Jimmy Frost lead. Now by a conservative 8 lengths to Mr. Frisk and Lannerai, and on the twist and Burham 4, a gap of 3 to Lucky Rascal, Torside, and Darkwood John racing wide on the outside of Against the Grain. And the back marker is Rhyme and Reason. Into the water jump, and they just had to reach for it there, did Broadheath. It's over safely. Chasing group are over safely too. The loose horses run out. They go down towards the next plain fence. This is the 11th, and Broadheath comes to it. And Broadheath from Mr. Frisk and Lannerai on the twist at the rear of the field. Zarovich just a little bit low. And now John Oaksey, John Frankham, as they take the 12th at ditch. Broadheath coming back to his field.
Yes, he's got set an amazing gallop here. I think the interesting thing so far is just how close Rhyme and Reason is. Like I said, there are plenty struggling at the moment. Brendan Powell's been able to hold a much closer position than he would have done, or at least the horse showed at Sandown. The more racing he has, the sharper he seems to be getting.
Mr. Frisk's never been able to make the running, but he is still in second place. It may not have been a bad thing for him, perhaps, the tremendous pace that Broadheath set. But he's not done with yet himself, Broadheath, still in the lead.
With 7 more fences to jump, is 10 lengths clear now. Rhyme and Reason, as John Frankham noted, making good ground on the outside of On the Twist. Broadheath a little low. From On the Twist, and then comes Rhyme and Reason and Mr. Frisk backpedaling. Zarovich is well in arrears. They go down towards the last ditch, and Broadheath now coming back to his field, only by 4, and jumps very slowly and all but unseated his rider. On the Twist fell there, that's out of the race. Zarovich is tailed off, and so the complexion of the race changes. As on the outside, Rhyme and Reason comes to tackle Lucky Rascal, the grey. He's ahead of Darkwood John, who's made ground to go to third. Over the next one, Lucky Rascal out jump there. Mr. Frisk goes through into third. And as they make their way towards the last on the far side, Broadheath is out of it. They go to the last on the far side, and Rhyme and Reason, the favourite in the lead. From in second place, Lucky Rascal. Mr. Frisk is back in third. Behind these, Darkwood John is 4. So they begin the turn into the home straight, and it's Rhyme or Reason now being tackled by the grey Lucky Rascal. Lucky Rascal has made mistakes in his home straight in his last race. I wonder if the pace will tell. Mr. Frisk back in third, Darkle John is fourth, Yellow Jacket Spot, Burrenpour getting closer. Then comes Lanarike, they're in line for home, and it's Rhyme and Reason in the lead from the grey Lucky Rascal. They've got 3 to jump, and it's Rhyme and Reason in the lead from Lucky Rascal, from Mr. Frisk back in third, Lanarike, Darkle John and Burrenpour at Torside, and then against the grey, they've got 2 to jump. And on the extreme left of the picture, it's Rhyme and Reason in the lead from Mr. Frisk there, who comes through in a second place. They race down towards the 19th and final friends. Rhyme and Reason from Mr. Frisk, who's putting in a big challenge. The grey isn't done with there. That's Lucky Rascal now back in third, coming down towards the final friends. And it's Rhyme and Reason in the lead, comes to it, jumps it safely from Lanarike, who's come through the challenge for second place. Mr. Frisk third at best, but it's Rhyme and Reason who holds on. Lanarike is powering down the track, but Rhyme and Reason has it. Rhyme and Reason from Lanarike second, Mr. Frisk is third. A gap of 6 to 8 lengths then to the fourth horse home was Lucky Rascal. Gap of 2 to 3 lengths to Darkle John, and then Torside and Burrenpour against the grain. And the Zarovich continued but tailed off, but the favourite has won this at 7 to 2. That one owned by Miss Juliet E. Reid, trained at Whitby by David Ellsworth, so there'll be a lot of speculation in the press here, with David not electing to run Desert Orchid, of course, who ran at Wincanton. This one ridden by Brendan Powell, his 23rd winner of the season. Second is number 5, Lanarike. What a cracking race he has run, ridden by Guy Landor, with a third horse home, number 10, Mr. Frisk, ridden by Paul Croucher.